Tingyun, a lovely Foxian merchant responsible for the most shocking moment in Honkai Star Rail. A character death that left an unforgettable memory in all of our minds. We had a funeral, and it was sad. We even shot her belongings into space, as is the Shinjo custom. But recently, to all of our surprise, Tingyun has risen from her fallen state and returned to us in a state that has left many people confused. But not me, because some of you say that I am Albert in disguise following the preservation, or a follower of the Enigmata merely spreading misinformation on the internet. But that would be completely incorrect, because in truth, I am a proud follower of the Path of Elation. Much like Sparkle, who has on 2 occasions revealed enemies that didn't yet exist. I, on the other hand, reveal facts about characters a month, 2 months in fact, before their release. Because I was completely right about what I predicted from taking nothing but a name and a splash art. So let's talk about it, shall we? Because this is Tingyuns Path Explained. Okay, so victory lap aside, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why our vivacious and lively Tingyun of all characters is NIHILITY. Well, allow me to answer that question, because personally I believe that every character's in-game path has a purpose, meaning that just about every character we've run into has 2 paths. A lore path that I refer to as their path, and their in-game path that I refer to as a type. So let's take Phantilia Tingyun for example. She would be Destruction Path Harmony type. And to be honest, I think it will make more sense if I explain this now. As we know, every Foxian is a follower of the Hunt as a member of the Shinjo Alliance. But this isn't Tingyun. This is Phantilia, and as an emanator of destruction, she quite obviously follows the destruction. No surprises there. And as for why she is Harmony, this is where things get spicy. Because first of all, Phantilia is a Heliobus, a mysterious race of shapeless beings made of starfire essence that are somehow capable of speech and sentience. They often latch onto a host and feed off of their emotions through manipulating their nervous system, which often results in a person losing their sense of self and being consumed by carnal desires that spark emotions that the Heliobus feeds off of until they die. Then the Heliobus leaves to find a new host. Really dark. How strong a Heliobus is depends on how many Heliobi have fused into each other. Phantilia in particular is a very strong Heliobus amalgamation that at some point was granted power by Nanook, so she has a habit of outright stealing people's bodies. So as an emanator, she has her abilities enhanced, so she can just steal people's bodies, skipping the long process of infesting them first. And this is how Tingyun became her victim, because Phantilia is a sick thing that favors a specific type of destruction, that being the internal and self-destruction of beings. That will be relevant later, but back to why she is Harmony. Because even though she is quite clearly the antithesis of anything harmonious, she does share a vital similarity to the Harmony, and that is in her identity. Once again, very similar to Sparkle, Phantilia Tingyun is Harmony because of the fact that she has multiple, quite possibly thousands, of faces. Just like Sparkle has infinitely multiplying characters and masks, and just like how the Aeon of Harmony Shippei is an amalgamation of multiple different Aeons and quite literally has multiple faces. Up until recently, I never noticed that Shippei actually had faces on the side of her head, and now I can't unsee that, and neither can you! Anyway, Phantilia also as a Heliobus assimilates other people's likeness into herself, just like the Harmony assimilated Anna the Order into themselves. So she follows the destruction, but her abilities in life mirror that of the Harmony. That is why she is a Harmony type character. See what I did there? Okay, so extended example out of the way, let's talk about Fugue Tingyun. Well, first things first, let's talk about what the word fugue actually means, that she herself even believes is an apt self-description.
Though it's our first meeting, it feels as if we're reuniting after a long separation. The past is behind us, and the old me is no more. Please allow me to temporarily call myself Fugue.
And I completely agree, because this word has two definitions, both of which fit her very nicely. The first is a musical concept where one instrument plays a melody and the other instruments take up that melody, all adding their own little twist to make a song. Now, this can be a metaphor for how Tingyun is the first melody and Phantilia is an instrument that took up that melody, the melody being her body, of course. The second is a psychiatry term for the state or period of loss of awareness of one's identity, often caused by trauma or extreme stress, which quite accurately explains the state Miss Fluvytail is currently in. She has quite literally forgotten much of who she is due to the trauma and stress of being destroyed by a Lord Ravager and having her body run made whole again. Anyway, I'm pretty sure the reason why she lived at all was because Phantilia at her core is a heliobus and still a parasite. So she required Tingyun to be somewhat alive as she was disguised as her. But after being defeated, she couldn't so easily go back and finish the job. But that's besides the point.
But Nova, how does this explain why Fugue Tingyun is NIHILITY?
Well, let me explain. Tingyun has lost something near and dear to her. She lost a part of herself that she will never be able to reclaim. Yes, she still has her mind and body back, but there is something that is truly gone, and that is her memories. For a time, she didn't even remember her own name and had to relearn everything about herself. And now, everything she knows is something that she had to learn, not something she naturally remembers. Phantilia destroyed her body and spirit. There was nearly nothing left of her. So even though she remembers her past, now there's still a level of detachment over it all, which is why she wishes to reclaim her life. Now, we know how powerful memories are, especially in Hoyo games. Fu Li can use memories to recreate civilizations. Memory bubbles can house a person's soul and allow them near immortality in Penacony. And in other games, memories have sparked the flames of consciousness, giving life, or should I say, sentience. But there is one force that we know that can consume and destroy memories, casting them into a void of no return. This force is none other than the NIHILITY. We learned this from Black Swan's fateful dance with Acheron, where she peered into Acheron's mind and was met with a first-hand account of the NIHILITY's destruction of memories. And as a memo keeper and mimetic entity herself, she was quite understandably terrified at the spectacle, even seeing herself as the memories being consumed. And as a follower of the Remembrance, Black Swan believes that memories are eternal. But she was wrong, because NIHILITY exists. And since the entire theming of Fugue Tingyun's character is recovering from the loss of her memories, I can't think of a more fitting type than NIHILITY for her, because we know that destruction cannot destroy memories, and Fu Li often collects memories from destroyed planets and civilizations. The deletion of memories is a trait unique to the NIHILITY, so it makes perfect sense. It fits perfectly as a Foxian and Hunt Path follower. She wants revenge against the Lord Ravager Phantilia, which reflects the Hunt, but her life and her current fugue state reflects the NIHILITY. Hunt, NIHILITY. And that is Tingyuns Path explained. You know, some say that paths are assigned to characters without a care in the world, but I disagree. One, because that's just so incredibly stale and boring, and two, because, say it with me, Hoyo does not do things for no reason. So I will continue this series looking into the ever-releasing characters that only affirm my theory with every release. But what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, y'all.